are in our bulletin board, and I would like to urge any of you who would like to get any of those photographs to do it this morning, because I have now received the balance of the photographs from the trip to the Orient, which for me included Hong Kong, Canton, China, up into Communist China, Bangkok in Thailand, and Tokyo in Japan. And I took photographs everywhere. And of course, I took your standard basic temple photographs and river photographs and all the beautiful stuff you normally. But to me, and I might add, with my wife's blessing, there are some very beautiful women in all of those locations, even up in Communist China. And so I sought out several beautiful women from each country, and I took their photograph, and I've got some of those photographs. I think they are as much of a... You see, I love women, and they're as much a part of anybody's culture as temples and all the rest of it. Women are serious animals. And so I've got some real beautiful, and I do have some beautiful photographs of well, all kinds of things that I have to do with the trip, and I think I'm going to be posting those probably, no guarantees, but probably tomorrow. So if you're going to get into the bulletin board, you ought to do it now, because once I post those, it's going to go nuts and nobody's going to be able to get in. Got a lot of other things we're going to do too, by the way. We're going to put Bob Crane's, I'm going to put Bob Crane's lineup, photographs of this lineup in that bulletin board. I'm going to put pictures of Dexter Yard's flowers in there. In fact, I may do that tomorrow. We're just going to put all kinds of things, and there'll be a chronology of the whole China trip in there, photographically. Now, for those of you that don't have computers, we're going to be publishing a lot of good colored photographs of the same stuff in our newsletter. So if you don't have the newsletter, here's how you get that. It's just $29.95 a year, and frankly, you ought to get the newsletter even if you do have a computer. Because there's a lot in the newsletter that never does appear on the bulletin board. From Bryn Marie and San Fran. Personally, I'm afraid I cannot take Robert Dole's rant against the entertainment industry too seriously until he mentions Arnold Schwarzenegger by name. I mean, if there's anybody in the entertainment biz who's guilty of making movies that are chock full of gratuitous violence, it's Arnold. But tell me, how likely will that be? Arnold is a Republican. As soon as Dole is sincere enough to wag his finger at everybody who promulgates violence in the industry, and not just rap stars, then I'll give him some serious consideration. East of the Rockies, you are on the air. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. All right, now, do you know why you're stumbling and you don't know what to say? It's because you have your radio on. Do the wild thing. 702-727-1295. No. We're not allowed to use last names on the air.
Oh, okay.
So I had to just eliminate your last name. Your name is Poindexter.
Yes.
That's an interesting name. What do they call you for short?
Nothing, that's it.
Poindexter.
Yeah.
Okay, Poindexter, let it rip.
I just want to say that I did used to be that Sylvia Blagelmeyer 25 times with the apricot that she mashed on that scooter that just, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't have the slightest idea, Poindexter, but I appreciate the attempt. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi.
Art, this is Pavo. Long time no big house. Nah, I'm just kidding, Art.
I can tell it's not Pavo's. I know Pavo's voice instantly.
Okay. Hey, I guess Clinton's really serious about gearing up for the 96 election. He's making more cuts at the White House. And he got rid of the convertible at the White House and never did like the draft.
He got rid of who?
The convertible at the White House. The
convertible?
Yeah. And because he never did like a draft.
Oh. Sorry, I guess I should laugh there, but somehow I didn't hit the point.
Anyway, did you hear the OJ trial when I think it was Cochran was talking to Simpson?
Is this another joke?
You can't stand them, huh?
Well, I mean, no offense, but if they're good.
Well, okay. Anyway, Cochran told us there's good news and bad news. Bad news, they found OJ's blood everywhere. You know, at the murder scene, in his car, in his home. And OJ said, well, what's the good news? And he says, well, your cholesterol's down.
Okay. Keep your day job. You know, there is actually some the one really serious piece of news throughout the last couple of days, I thought was, and the prosecution's going to have to figure out a way to deal with this. But of all the blood samples taken, the blood sample on the fence, you remember the one that was taken late out on the fence? And the blood sample taken from the sock. Remember the sock, right? These are the ones that the defense contends were set up, planted. The DNA people, blood people, were forced to admit that there was much, much more DNA in those two samples, human DNA, than there were in any of the other samples taken. Not only those in the dirt, but those in the concrete. And so forth on. Much more human DNA, indicating that they might have been fresher. Now, this really does give the defense an opening to say, you see, it was planted. And I wonder how the prosecution is going to deal with this. Now, there was some testimony attempting to say, well, dirt, the common variety dirt, when it interacts with human blood, tends to dilute or do something strange to the DNA. But and now bear in mind that a lot of that blood was taken from locations other than those with dirt. So why would there be more DNA in those samples that have been, the one, for example, out on the fence that supposedly have been there and out in the weather for a long time? I thought that was a very interesting bit of testimony. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
I'm with Josh in Portland. I'm 14.
Hi, Josh.
And it's my first call.
Well.
Yeah, my first listen on KDX.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to know what station I could get from Quitman, Mississippi, because I'm out visiting my dad for the summer.
Where are you going in Mississippi?
I live in Mississippi, in Quitman right now, but I'm visiting my dad in Portland right now.
Well, let's see, Mississippi, we're not in Las Vegas, Mississippi. We are in Greenville, Mississippi. Is that anywhere close?
That's pretty close.
Oh, yeah? Okay, then try WGBM 1260 on the dial in Greenville, Mississippi. Throughout the rest of the state, WOAI in San Antonio is heard very well, so you'll get us one way or the other. They're 1200 on the dial. So listen between 12 and 13, you'll find us somewhere.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, and I just want to make another point that you just get alive or something. Geek or something. Well, I gotta go right now.
I gotta go too.
Okay.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Somehow I have a feeling you know at this point. On the first time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Turn the radio off, please.
You got it. John calling from San Diego, Togoland.
Yes, sir.
And I just wanted to thank you for being the talk show host that you are. You're like the voice of reasonableness in the wilderness.
No, I hope.
We both know it's a strange world out there, and it's nice to see somebody who's willing to examine that with a jaundiced eye, I guess I could say.
Jaundice?
Yeah. As well as informed. The main reason I called was I was calling in reference to the gentleman whose son was in the Army in Macedonia.
Yes.
I was kind of concerned. I'm an Air Force veteran now for 10 years, and my major point was, with the security measures that go on in troop movements and stuff, I was surprised that his son had the freedom to, I guess, transfer that information to his father. I appreciate his father's stand on everything and such, but, the lives of his son's compatriots or fellow soldiers could be on the line because of information like that. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that the military monitors mail from sensitive areas, and if the military didn't want it known, they would have blacked it out.
Okay. Kent, that was it.
All right, so
Have a good night.
You too, and thanks very much for the call and the kind words. Wildcard Line, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Dane from San Diego.
Yes.
As about the entertainment industry, I kind of think that the far right uses the entertainment industry the way the left uses gun control. It's kind of like one of those superfluous issues that's only used there to push hot buttons.
Well, then my only question would be then, if that's true, how come the far right makes absolutely no progress against the entertainment industry and the left gets guns banned?
Because the media is really biased. And the thing is, when the far right talks, they're just talking. They don't try to push legislation. The far left pushes a lot of legislation, and which really gets to me. I don't take it too seriously when the left talks about entertainment industry. Now, if they try to censor, that would really get to me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, let's examine for a second. I really didn't think Bob Dole was very sincere. I thought he was just being political. But let's take his statement at face value for a second. If what he said is true, then to simply state it and note it, and if it really has the effect he says it's having, then what other course of action other than some sort of censorship?
That's why they give R ratings, so people who can't discern between art and reality don't get in. I mean, if you look at the entertainment industry, I've got Entertainment Weekly in front of me. The most popular TV shows are movies like Home Improvement, Friends, and the top movies are like, they have basically been Forrest Gump, The Lion King. So, I mean, it seems to me that the most violent movies don't make as much money as the less violent movies, and the ones that are real violent are rated R. So I just saw Die Hard just recently, and they weren't letting kids under 18 in. They were telling them to, leave the line.
Yeah.
So I think that's totally superfluous because that's why they make ratings for.
All right, so appreciate your call. I tend, with one exception, to be very much against any sort of censorship. And I'll say this one last time. I have considered and am a supporter of the idea. We can all scream about how parents ought to be responsible, and of course they should. They should decide what their children see. But we are in a nation, like it or not, can't dispute it, of a lot of latchkey kids. Kids that come home at 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. And the first thing that goes on is the television. On bad, aren't they? TV goes on. Children are not adults. Child brains are not adult brains. I'm able to watch natural born killers or anything else and put it in perspective and not want to go out and grab a gun and kill a bunch of people because I saw a movie. An adult mind is able to discern. I mean, there are exceptions, but they're few and very far between. A child's mind is a very different thing. It's in its formative stages. It's still absorbing. And it does not have enough life reference many times to understand what it's seeing is not reality. So it seems to me it would be reasonable. I like to advertise myself as a reasonable person. I think of myself that way. To control the content of television during the hours that children are coming home from school and are awake. After that, television can be television. I don't feel the same way about movies. They're rated. Parents need to make decisions. You've got to pay. You've got to make a conscious choice. Television is coming into everybody's home. So that's, so that's a sort of a mild call for some form of censorship. I realize that, and I stand by my statement. On the toll-free line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, it's Joe in San Francisco.
Hi, Joe.
I'm the news fan out here.
Oh, you're all right. Okay.
I think Nuke's gonna run. I'm almost sure of it.
You know, I would think that a Newt Gingrich fan in San Francisco would be in danger of being lynched at the very least.
Well, yes, you might say that.
I mean, would you, for example, go down the street shouting Newt, Newt, I love Newt?
No, but I've had, conversations in public and haven't gotten killed yet, but,
Hopeful.
yeah, I think, I really think he's gonna run. I thought there was no way. But the more I think about it, I think he wants to be the president throughout the turn of the century.
I'll tell you something. He's made a couple of statements in the last couple of days that seem to begin to open the door.
Well, he didn't say no. Whereas before he said he decided to call it off a few months ago.
Right.
But then on Meet the Press, he said, well, I don't know, I'm not going to rule it out.
That's right.
Then, now I know I think the wheels are in motion because he went off with Rush and William Bennett down and they had a powwow and Rush talked about it and said that, I think there's a 51% chance he's going to run.
Well, I think it would be the single most exciting political race of our lifetimes.
Absolutely.
I can't think of anything that would be more fun. Anybody more equipped to come at Clinton, and Clinton would come back hard. I mean, they're both good campaigners. It would be something.
Yes, and I think the Republicans, they're very excited. I mean, a lot of Republicans now I hear them saying that, he's doing good as speaker. He shouldn't leave the speakership. He should stay there. He's doing great.
There is that. But, he's kind of at a zenith. I mean, a lot of the legislation that he, through his leadership, did get through.
That's right.
Without argument, is going to get bogged down in the Senate. Now, before there's sort of disappointment shifted back to him on that, he should grab the moment. The moment is just right.
I think so too. I think so too, Art.
I have to be honest. I think I can advise. Thanks a million for the call, sir. I mean, he's just the right person with the right personality, the right intellect, at the right time, with the right race against the right opponent. So it would be incredible. Incredible. We'll see. Maybe he'll run. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hi.
What I wanted to say is I went to a fair in Portland. It was a couple of years ago. Actually, it was right in the middle of the Bush-Clinton election.
Yes.
And what they were saying, they were kind of evenly split on who's going to win. It was a toss-up at that point. The thing that I just jumped out at me yesterday, and I don't know why I remember this, one of the women said that Clinton would win, but it would be irrelevant because he would be the last democratically elected president that we would have. He didn't elaborate too much. I'm guessing some sort of martial law situation after that. What I was wondering is, the next time you had a futurist on, if you could ask him to comment?
Oh, I'd be glad to. I have them on whenever I get a good one to have on. So,
and I know it's kind of a general thing, but I don't know why they jumped out at me. So, and also, the previous caller said something about a letter from a gentleman in Macedonia. What was that? If you could just give me a brief thing.
Well, that'd be rough. I'd rather let the man call back and do it himself on another night. It's one call per night. There's a letter from his son in Macedonia. And I don't want to misquote it, so I'll just leave that one alone for now. I'm sure he'll call back. Wildcard line, you're on the air.
Turn off my radio, Art.
I'll do that right away.
Okay. This is Jeff from Rockland, and I called and talked to you last night.
Yes?
When describing what I was seeing, I didn't have a chance to tell you that what I saw was about maybe 40 to 60 yards above me and also made no discernible sound.
Okay.
And so
You're the man that saw the triangle.
yeah, and I could be somewhat mixed up on the lights. I went to work tonight and talked to my buddy. We both saw the same thing. And I drew a picture of it right after we saw it. And it was so close to us that as it passed, you could hear the wind going through it, but not much of anything else. That's how close it was. It was just over the pine tree line.
Even more delicate.
Huh?
Just sort of very gently, sort of a breeze sound, not motor sound.
Right, very slow. And it went by so slow, we wondered how something so big poured itself. And we weren't thinking UFO because it didn't look like anything we knew of a UFO.
Sure.
So we thought it was some kind of new high-tech bomber or something.
Well, you've got to bear in mind, that is possible. I mean, we've got things that we're working on that I'm sure we don't know about. That's why they call it Dreamland right next to the over here. We'll be right back.
It was Rockwell Submarine Time. Tonight featuring a replay of Coast to Coast AM from June 1st, 1995.
Somebody I know, his name will be Joe. His name is Joe, actually. And he does business in Southeast Asia a lot. And he just sent me a fax that's hard to believe. Bill, welcome. Tonight is the first time that I've caught your show since your return, so I unfortunately missed the comments you must have made about your trip, of course. Would like to have heard them. I don't know what date you arrived in Bangkok, but I arrived on Sunday, the 14th of May. When I opened the Bangkok Nation newspaper, the attack cartoon jumped out at me. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it was? The Benson cartoon. I can't believe it. It was in the Bangkok Nation newspaper. Anyway, he goes on, I was furious. I wanted to call the editor and tell him you were coming to Bangkok and wanted an interview you about this outrage. Then, the humorous side of this unfair mistake. I could picture you settling into your hotel to start this much-anticipated vacation, having a gorgeous time, woman, with one of those incredibly beautiful smiles pointed directly at you as if you were the only man in the world, serve you a Singhao beer. That's the bad beer. I have to Singhao so much. And as you open the paper and stop this cartoon, you go into a rage, slander Buddha, and spend your entire vacation in a Thai jail. Hope it didn't happen. But I will tell you this. Had I known it ran in a Thai paper, I would have been much more cautious about eating out my meat. In addition, I would like to note that in Thailand, the one thing I'm told you do not do is slander the king. Now, in Thailand, to slander the king is to go to jail. I'm not sure about Buddha, but I doubt two things would happen. Certainly, if you slander the king, you go directly to jail without passing forward time. They tell you that right away. Criticize, if you wish, the bureaucracy. How people don't like that. But do not criticize the king. Very bad, very bad. Go to jail without passing go directly. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello. I was wondering if you had an opportunity to read Nothing in This Book is True, but it's exactly how things are.
You mean Rush's book?
No, it's
Not the way you wish, well, I see.
no, it's Bob Crickle's book. Nothing in This Book is True, but it's exactly how things are.
So it sounds like a play on Rush's book, but no, I haven't read it. No.
Yeah, it's by Bob Frizzle, and it's available from Frog Limited Press.
Frog Limited Press.
Yeah, and it talks about the Philadelphia experiment and the alien creatures and the fourth dimension and Egypt and Atlantis and
So you can say it jumps around a lot.
oh yeah, and the grave and Tibet and
Frog Rescue.
oh yeah, jump around. I'm sorry. Yeah, I enjoy your program.
Well, I've enjoyed your call, and it sounds like an interesting book.
Thank you very much.
A lot of books. There's some more books out there, but never mind. Getting to the mall is another matter. On the wild card line, you're on the air. Hi.
Yeah, good morning, Art.
Good to you.
Welcome back to your trip. This is Richard Company, TV. Coastal Country.
Where?
Calvert.
No, it's very okay. Well, see, that could mean Phil Fallon.
Yeah, okay, I enjoyed your first broadcast. Welcome back to Middle USA.
It's always good to get back.
Hey, listen, Art, you know, you really fascinate me. Star Trek is one of my favorite science fiction shows, you know. There's a lot there for a person's imagination, you know, and you do a lot of phenomenal things, and you're very much in a leadership position in the United States, as far as I'm concerned, you know, because...
No, I'm not. Look, don't confuse talk show hosting with leadership. It's not leadership. It's talk show hosting. Leadership is when you get elected, and even then it's hard to find.
Well, I mean, you know, you have a tremendous amount of impact on the people, you know, throughout, you know, your 170 stations.
That might be so.
Yeah, and, you know, the other night, you know, when you had the broadcast, the gentleman called in. This was one of the reasons why I called you now. He was talking to you about this gentleman by the name of Ted Gunderson, who's locally out here in Santa Monica, you know.
Yes.
I've never had the privilege of meeting him in person, but I had spoke to him a long time ago, 1992 on the telephone.
Right.
And you wrote this article, and there's a lot to this article, and he's in Santa Monica, and I really would love to challenge that you'd have him on the air to talk about this. The man has put his life on the line, believe me. He's 28 years, he's an expert on security and terrorism in the FBI, retired FBI agent, and the man has had a lot to say about this situation. I mean, he refers to it as electrodynamic gaseous fuel device, and he says only those persons who need to possess knowledge of research classified at the very highest level of top secret by the U.S. government, in addition to access to a vast array of chemical and electronic components.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Have him contact me, and
I beg pardon?
have him contact me, and we'll talk about it.
Well, I mean, he's in the phone book in Santa Monica, California.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
give you his number if you like.
no, not here. You can fax it to me, sir, or send it to me in a letter, but please don't give it out over the air. But I'm always glad to talk to anybody who would make an interesting guest. You'll find out as time goes on. I don't have guests on the show just to have them on. There's got to be either it's got to relate to something hot going on, or it's got to be a lot of fun, or it's got to be really fascinating. I just don't fill up time with guests. Otherwise, we've got open lines. West of the Rockies or on the air?
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Pretty well.
This is Anthony from Cottonwood, California.
Hi.
I haven't had an interesting fire talking about Newt Gingrich possibly running for the presidency.
I would love it.
The guy's got some brass cojones, no doubt about it. Who do you think he would choose for his running mate?
I'll tell you who the best person would be. Colin Powell.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would do all kinds of things. I mean, I could make a whole list about why Colin Powell would be an incredible running mate for Newt Gingrich. Now that would be a ticket.
Yeah, that definitely would. That would be a power play. So you'd have all the big guns coming out.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
I mean, that's the kind of election I want to see. I don't want a boring election. Dole and Clinton, that's going to be boring. I'll bet you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it would be. Dole's not really even the man you want to get in the White House. No, I just want to say also that I've been listening to your program for a long time, and you really give a different outlook on things, a better perspective.
Well, maybe different. I appreciate your call, sir. Thank you. I'm just whatever I am. And I try to not stop and think about that. I also try not to think when we had our meeting with parties, they said that, you know, don't you get nervous for all the people out there. And I never even think about it until somebody mentions it to me, or it starts making me think about the program. You know, I don't think that much about it, I just feel it. And when I think about it, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi. Okay, sir.
I'm on the air right now.
As opposed to some other time, you mean? Yes, you're on right now.
My name's Carl. I just wanted to tell my two cents, man.
Okay.
I don't think that Gingrich is, I don't think he's going to run right now. This 96 year coming in. But, I think he'll gear up for the next election after that.
Well, that's the conventional wisdom, but I think he's starting to change his mind.
Think so?
Yeah, I do.
And, about Bob Dole,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I can concur with what you're saying about him. He's, seems like he's an opportunity.
Well, see, everybody's saying that. I mean, everybody's calling out saying this and that about Bob Dole, except for one man who said he's better to be president. In other words, somebody in this audience seems to agree with that position, and yet all the great surveys are showing that Bob Dole is just way out in front. I mean, nobody's even close.
And one more thing, you know, Clinton wouldn't be so bad if he didn't have so many problems with his flip-flops, and also, I mean,
Yeah, but that's just like saying,
ran his cabinet, getting everybody into place. I mean, it was a fiasco. Past presidents, whether you liked them or not, they always had the transition team was, you know, the way they ran things, and they got the cabinet set, and they got all their appointments, and I mean, everybody's had scandals before, man, but this guy,
yeah, but that's like saying, you know, Hitler would have been so bad if he hadn't been a Nazi. I gotta run, sir. Thank you. I mean, he does have all these problems. He's not a good leader. He says, after he cites one good act of leadership with regard to the Japanese sanctions, I think he had guts to do that. But you know, that's one issue that Clinton does understand is trade. I'll give him that. But aside from that, I mean, this man is right. It has been a comedy of errors. Only they're not so comical because in a lot of cases they result in people getting killed, like in Somalia. And now this whole scheme of his to get us involved in Bosnia. I mean, this was really awful. So, yeah, it's like saying, you know, Hitler would have been so bad if he might have been an okay guy if he wasn't a Nazi. But he wasn't an okay guy. What he believed was not okay. And what this president apparently thinks is not okay. Going into Bosnia right now is you know, I'm not an activist. You know me, I'll speak out on things, but I'm not really an activist. And I'd probably get activists if I saw ground troops going into Bosnia. That might activate them. It really might. I might get out and protest that. It's insane. Absolutely insane. You've got to have a reason to move the U.S. north there, to send men to risk their lives. And going in to help the UN circle the wagons and get in more defensible positions to do a job they can't do anyway. There's no reason to send one person to die. No, sir. He better not. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Art.
That's me.
Archie from Seattle.
Yes, sir. Como.
Huh?
Como.
Yeah, half and half.
That's
Yeah, we got to switch over at, what is it, 1 o'clock?
1:08.
Yeah. I think we ought to be honest with the public about this baby Richard and baby Jessica case.
How so?
Well, in both cases, did the court require that the father release any kind of custody over the children before they placed them with the adoptive parents or people that were looking to adopt?
Well, maybe not. Look, sir, I'm just saying that more and more now, it's not just those cases, but there are a lot of cases now in which parents are coming back and taking children from people who have been raising them for years and years.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think that the cases where people are coming back is the court has neglected to seek out the father. And and see what's going on there. I think in both cases with Baby Richard and Baby Jessica, that was the case. And the guy came back 2 months after the kid had been placed for 2 months and said, hey, I didn't know the kid was alive. I got a different story. I'm going to claim my kid.
I've got you. I know, but I don't care. At some point, to me, a reasonable person says no matter the circumstance, when you take that child away after all these years, even if you've been sitting fighting in court, trying to get the thing done, at some point a reasonable person says, look, for the welfare of this child, it needs to remain with people who are doing a great job raising it.
Because the court screwed up. I don't think that's right.
Well,
they should get their act together, and then there wouldn't be so much hardship on these kids.
Well, that's the whole point. The kids, sir, if they are really, really, and everybody always says it, the child has got to be the number one consideration. If that's the only consideration, then what should happen? The welfare of the child is what I'm talking about. Not the parents that are or want to be. The welfare of the child. What's best for that child?
Well, what would have been best would be for the court to act in a diligent manner when the biological parent came forward and said.
Yeah, but that's still legal renderings. In other words, you're right, of course, but it makes no difference.
Oh, okay, let me leave it at that with you saying I'm right. I just have one other comment. And what's the significance of the 1979 film?
I don't know.
There's a monkey in a wrench somewhere in time. That's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, of course, thank you. Christopher Reeves. Somewhere in time. 79. Christopher Reeves, I think I've got a late story on him. He's in real trouble. And there was a movie he did called Somewhere in Time that has no equal in its category. It is the most romantic, even for a guy, the most romantic movie done about time travel ever made. So if you have not seen Somewhere in Time, go out and rent it. It's worth the money. First time caller line, you're on the air.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Rao.
Hello.
I'm Frank Hello. My name is Rob. I'm calling from the U.S. Colony, Fairbanks, Alaska. Here, listening to you on KFAR.
The U.S. Colony?
Yeah. Well, trying to get that feeling up here sometimes. We got 66% of our land is owned by the Fed, so...
Well, look, I'm in Nevada. 90%.
I can sympathize with you.
90% of our land is owned by the federal government.
Ouch. Well, who's going to have the other 10%? What kind of...
Well, I've got a little bit of it myself.
Oh, that's good.
I say 90%. I think it is way up there. It's more than Alaska is.
Geez, that's pretty tough. Have you ever been up here before, Larry?
Well, I lived in Anchorage.
Did you? I know it's when I first moved up here, one of the most striking things when I came flying in was just the lack of industry. I had grown up in the Milwaukee area back in Wisconsin.
Listen, I've got some news for you. I may be coming to Fairbanks in August.
Oh, fantastic. That's a good time of year to come.
Well,
days are still long.
It's a windy time of year to come. And I wanted to come. I really wanted to come up to Fairbanks in January or February. But it didn't work out. I was ready to go. I bought my wife. As a matter of fact, I bought my wife a special coat, and then the whole deal fell apart. And so now they're saying August. I said, all right.
Yeah, definitely Alaska should be experienced in the winter and in Fairbanks.
That's right.
Food.
Yeah.
If you're going to come, I need to talk to you about it. The reason I was calling was about the Ebola thing. I've heard so many different things when it first came out. When the first time I heard the story, there was like 100 and some deaths, and then by the next day they had it down to like 40.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of last week, I just all reporting of any kind kind of dropped right off the end. I wondered if you had any news about what was going on over there.
Well, maybe some of the people doing the counting are infected.
Huh.
That's a Weisenheimer remark, but and I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you. But the truth is, it's like a war zone. And many of the numbers coming out of Africa right now are just simply not to be trusted. As far as I'm concerned, what the CDC is telling us about Africa should not be trusted. It's now dropped out of the news. That doesn't necessarily mean a thing. What I'm saying is, don't believe them. This is one case where I truly believe that if there were serious news, not good, regarding Ebola, airborne, whatever, they would not tell us. They absolutely wouldn't tell us. So this is one case where you're going to have to rely on, to some degree, the press. If you begin hearing about the spread going very quickly, then for all they say, don't believe them. It's airborne. We don't have that yet, and maybe the whole thing is contained, but I'm not comfortable with what I'm hearing. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. Hi, this is Mark from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Been dialing so long, I forgot what it was I wanted to talk about.
That's bad.
What are you in the mood for? Alien, time travel, Bosnia, or Family Guy?
You know me, I can go in any of those directions.
Okay, let me go this question next. I know you're interested in the idea of time travel. Assuming that in the future, or sometime in the near future, far future, someone does invent a time machine or time machine, wouldn't we be seeing these people pop up as historical events in the present to witness them?
How do you know they don't? In other words, as they have traveled in time,
Right.
what gives you the idea they would be necessarily visible in this dimension to us at all?
Yes, I can just a second. Well, that's what I'm asking you. What would be your idea?
Well, you said, why aren't they showing up at historical events now? And I said, what makes you think you could see them?
Well, that's a good counterpoint.
Thank you.
Well, that's all I had.
Okie dokie. Thank you very much for the call. The next time, pick the door that says Bosnia.
You're listening to Art Bell, Center and Time on Premier Radio Networks. Tonight, an encore presentation of Coast to Coast AM from June 1st, 1995.
I want these people that like called and got in the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Where are you?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, KFYI.
Yeah. Okay, I like love to hate it. You know, like I really love your show, really hate the politics.
I see. Well,
But
at least you listen.
oh yeah, I went out and like registered to vote for the first time in 20 years the other day. Democrat.
Really?
Yeah.
I did that?
Yes, you did. You were totally responsible.
For
I
having...
started listening to your show because my boyfriend's Republican and he works nights in a factory.
The Rover.
Yeah. And he's Republican and like,
So,
he doesn't really listen to you that much anymore.
but you do.
Yes, I do.
I'm not sure what all this is
I love
saying.
your
I'm
show. You really, like I say, it's kind of a dilemma. I'd love to hear you.
Well, I can accept that. I can live with it.
Cool, you know. But there's some Republican ideas I like. I like the death penalty, you know. I like the chain gang thing.
You do?
Yeah. But, you know, that's all I can think of, really. You know, most of your ideas I really think.
Like what?
Like what?
Like what?
Like the abortion thing.
Abortion.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it you hate about my position? My position on abortion is that I'm pro-birth control.
You're pro-birth control. That's sort of okay.
Is it?
Sort of.
It's better than an abortion, huh? Isn't it?
Well, I had an abortion once like 20 years ago. It's not something I'm real proud of.
Well, then it's not something that'd be good, is it?
No, it's not a good thing.
So if you've been taking birth control, you would have never had to make that decision, would you?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, but you know, like young people don't want to go on a drugstore and ask for like contraceptives, you know.
Well, that was then. This is now. When I was young people didn't want to go do that. That's true. And I'm sure that's true of you too. It really is true. It would be a big embarrassment to go to a drugstore and ask for a condom.
Especially for a girl like 20 years ago.
Especially. No, I understand that. All right. Well, thank you. That was a good call. I think the decision should be avoided completely. I mean, it's an outrage. Having, what is it, 1.5 to 6 million abortions a year in this country? That's awful. I don't really even care which side of the argument you're on. It's awful. You've got to admit that's awful. And the one way to prevent it is to prevent the decision. Now, this is not 20 or 30 years ago. This is now, and birth control is not a big deal to talk about. It sure is a big deal to ask about. And that ought to be the answer. So that really is, but basically, yeah, I'm pro-life. I don't like abortion. I'll tell you, I don't like abortion. Just like that lady said, she had one, she's not proud of it, not happy about it. Would it not have been better for him not to have even had to contemplate that decision? Of course. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Morning, Art. This is Dan White from KDI surgery.
From where? Oh, KBI?
KDI?
It's
Here in Seattle, Washington.
I'm not on KBI now.
You know, that's one thing I don't understand. Some mornings, it seems like every other day you're on KDI, and then you're on Coma. Then you're on KDI, then you're on Coma.
Oh, now you're mixing me up. See, I thought we were on KBI until 1 o'clock in the morning. And then after 1, we're on Coma.
Maybe you are. Because sometimes I listen to you at some different times. Sometimes I listen to you earlier. Sometimes I listen to you later in the evening, depending on when I finish my homework.
Well, then that's your answer.
Quick question. You said you work in cable.
Yes.
What exactly did you do in cable?
I worked for the Times Near Corporation, which initially was Times Near, and in Las Vegas. And I, with a very good friend of mine, built all the what's called the head end. The microwave gear, the satellite reception gear, the channel processors, the scrambling, you name it. I did all of that. I built all that, and then ran that department for about 5 years.
Yeah, I worked for a cable company by the name of Cable Plus.
I was what's called a head end tech.
Yeah, I worked for Cable Plus. It's established out here. Its home office is in Bellevue, Washington. We do have quite a few apartment complexes that we service down there in Las Vegas. Second question I have for you is, what is your education consist of? Just out of curiosity.
My education consists of high school and a couple of years of college.
Oh, so you went to like a junior college and you went to AA?
University of Maryland.
Oh, really? I was really curious about that. Okay, Art. Well, you have a good morning.
Thank you. Thank you. See you later. Let's see. Going here, west of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
I'm calling from KENI up here in Anchorage.
Anchorage, Alaska. Land of the midnight sun.
Right, it's still rather light outside here. Not quite like Fairbanks where you'll be going, but
let's see. What time is it up there now?
right now
now it's 2:40.
2:40 in the morning, and
The sun just kind of gets real low, you know, goes beyond the horizon, but the light effect is still here.
I wonder, do you think the sun is still up in Fairbanks?
Yeah, it you know, the summer solstice is, I think, June 27th.
Yeah, that's right, we're getting close.
I wanted to take you to task a little bit about your treatment of Senator Dole.
Okay.
In the first instance, you characterized him, you know, as simply a politician playing loose with a barrage for political reasons.
Yes, I did.
And you took position on that, which I can't fault you for because it's more interesting and you do have a bias there. However, it's like you should allow the person to make a statement and then judge it before you characterize it to begin with, like a
Well, but he has.
willing suspension of disbelief.
Yes, sir, but he
And the man, of course, excuse me?
Yes, sir, but he has already made a statement. He made it yesterday.
Right. Well, he has declared his presidential intentions, and he gave a speech as a presidential candidate. I'm pretty sure he was advised to, you know, let loose with both barrels and let it shake loose his image.
Yeah.
And I think he did that. And I don't see how you can quite fault him for doing that, as opposed to looking at what he actually said, the content of his message.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what I heard you say was that you kind of keyed on a couple of things there that were a little different than what I've heard locally. There's a man up here named Fritz Pettyjohn. You may know him if you lived up here. And he reported on the speech and indicated that what was important to him was the way in which he did his number on the Time Warner people and said that they were in danger of losing their souls for the way that they were packaging up sleeves for the popular consumption.
All right, sir.
That would be interesting to you.
All right, yes, it is. And no, look, it is. I don't necessarily disagree. My comments about Mr. Dole's statement had nothing to do with the content of what he said, with the exception of the natural-born killers comment. Other than that, my entire assessment of Bob Dole's statement was with regard to the timing of it, the motivation for it, and the sincerity of it. Now, that's pretty harsh. I generally agree with most of what he had to say, frankly. I just think that it was politically motivated, is quite transparent, has no history at all with Bob Dole. He has not come after Hollywood in this way in the past, and he's got a very, very long trail behind him of taking positions on various things, and he has never attacked Hollywood in this way. And he is running. He has stated that he's running, as you point out. He's clearly the leader. It clearly, in my estimation, is an attempt to co-opt the right-wing religious support now enjoyed by Pat Buchanan. He needs that. Going into the convention, he needs that. So I see what Mr. Dole did as purely political. Purely political. And I'm not arguing with the content. I guess I'm arguing with the sincerity, and that is pretty serious. On the wild card line, you're on the air.
Oh, yes, hi, welcome back.
Thank you.
I have a suggestion about opposing Clinton. I don't know if you want to hear this or not, but I suggest, how about Rush?
Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting you should say that. I have heard some rumors about that. Have you been hearing that?
No.
It was actually mentioned, maybe it was, I'm sorry, I see so many news programs and talk programs, but there was a semi-serious suggestion mentioning Rush as a candidate.
He knows all about Clinton.
He definitely run a hell of a campaign against Clinton, no question about that.
I call him Clinton. Isn't that awful?
Well, yeah, it is. We should have.
Well, the excuse I have is early in the morning. I have to sleep
Yeah, I think Rush would be an effective candidate.
Yeah, great. Well, it's really good to hear you back.
Well, glad to be back.
Really
Thanks.
nice to-
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care. Rush would be good. He'd be a killer. You know, he'd be hard for Clinton to handle. Very hard for Clinton to handle. It would be hard for talk radio to handle. Now, that'd be something. Well, I haven't thought about that. I don't think Rush wants to run now. Does he? Have any of the rest of you heard any suggestions? I have on a couple of shows. I'm trying to recall if this one come to me where it was. Wildcard Line, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, Tommy in Cocoa Country.
Hi, Tom.
Anthony.
Yes.
I wanted to comment on the Baby Richard case. I think that was prompted from your last caller, but real quickly, what I found was really transparent about Dolich's comments about Hollywood. You've got some big names out in Hollywood that are Republicans that are obvious by their omission. I mean, Bruce Willis, a hardcore Republican. Sylvester Stallone, hardcore Republican. Tom Selleck, hardcore Republican. Their studios are either how. I just wondered how it was just the
Shannon Dougherty.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, with that said, I just wondered who was contributing what to what campaigns and when. Anyway, back to...
my understanding that Time Warner contributed to Bob Cole's campaign.
$5,000, I think.
I wonder if they can take it back then.
I bet they want to. Anyway, with the Baby Richard thing, I don't think that I was kind of... You were out of the country when that was picking up a lot of heat, and there was a lot of rallies about it. But to the caller that called up talking about law, imagine they can put the NAFTA on the fast track, but they can't figure out a way to resolve an adoption on the fast track. Is rather peculiar. But in the dissenting opinion of it was a 5-4 decision, and one of the dissenting judges, I don't know the name, wrote in his opinion that the decision to turn Baby Richard back to the biological father was unconscionable. That's real strong language for one justice to put it.
Well, I agree with that decision, sir. Thank you. And I look, you know, the caller was suggesting that this decision to turn the child back was justified based on the court having screwed up. And I guess what I'm saying is, everybody runs around saying what's best for the child, what's best for the child. Bull. They're not, you know, that kind of attitude is not what's best for the child. What's best for the child is that if it is and has been in a loving home for many years, it's best for the child not to take it out of that home. So if all these high-minded, highfalutin people out there who really would just practice what they preach about what's best for the child, I don't think there'd be any question. But as usual, we get everything all tangled up in the legal system in America. And as I said, now I understand that lady I met in the airport in Tokyo had the Vietnamese child, was on her way back. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art. I wanted to talk about biostamp. In the past year, I've listened to talk radio. I've done extensive reading on government, social relations, and just all the New World Order stuff. And what I found out is kind of shocking. In World War II, they gave Eastern Europe to communists. In Korea, we maintained the status quo.
Well, now, slow up there for a second. Let's take them one at a time. There was an agreement, after the war, and after all, the Russians participated and suffered heavily in the war. On the same side, we fought on, and so there was an agreement, and
I believe the agreement was that the Russians would fight if they got Eastern Europe. That's what I'm reading.
Well...
In Korea, we maintained status quo. In Vietnam, we surrendered all of Vietnam to communists.
Yeah.
We've propped up communist dictators all over the world, and we've deserted freedom-loving people. So my question is, whose side are our military guys on?
Well...
I think we ought to debate that. I think it's come to a time when we should debate this question.
You think they're out there fighting for communism?
Do the reading and come to the conclusions you want to, but that's the ones that, there's probably some of us out there that have come to that conclusion, Art.
All right, well, very good. I understand the way you feel. feel I don't agree with you. And I don't think we're out here fighting for communism. I think right now what we're doing is just plain stupid. I think it probably is connected to internationalism. Not communism. I mean, that's totally failed. Communism's on the way out. Is full capitalism on the way in? No. Are we moving toward a more socialist nation? Sure, we are. As what used to be communist is moving to a more capitalist place. I mean, these are just facts. I don't even think that's disputable. Wildcard Line, you're on the air. Hi.
Yes, so good morning, Art. I'm calling from Orange, going into a little bit of Reddish County here. You know much about the Great Seal of the President of the United States?
I've seen it many times.
You know on the back of that seal there's the pyramid that we normally see on the back of the dollar bill?
Yes.
And it's got a little slogan there that says, "He, God, has favored our undertakings to annual compass." And I noticed in reviewing some tapes that I recorded on some of Clinton's speeches that he didn't have the seal on the podium the night that he spoke to the people in Oklahoma that Sunday. And I was wondering if you might think that to be a little odd. I've never seen a president without the seal. And it wasn't like it was a day of mourning because he had one whenever he was honoring the dead police soldiers, or the police officers that one day.
Very suspicious, sir.
Yes.
All right, well, I thank you for that observation, and I'll have to review some videotape. West of the Rockies, you're on the air very quickly here.
Okay.
Hello.
I'm Carol.
Okay, well, you're on the air.
Thank you. I have a comment to make about Pope Paul John II and his June the 5th prediction.
Yes,
I would like to say that in the early 1900s, a Mormon president predicted that man would never land on the moon without the world being destroyed first.
Right.
So because of that prediction, I consider Pope John Paul's prediction to be nuts.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, the whole thing might be made up. I have no way of knowing. All I did was read it. Everybody wanted to hear it. We're close to the date, and so I thought it would be appropriate to do so. And it may be totally nuts. Who knows about these things? Who knows? Of course, June 5th's coming up pretty quickly, so we'll find out, won't we? I'm sorry, that's all the time there is. We're ruled by the clock. I think I've got an interview coming up on KFYI in about an hour or so. We'll see. Otherwise, see you tomorrow morning at about the same time, eh? Good night.
Welcome to our channel, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from June 1st, 1995.
From the high desert in the great American Southwest, I bid you all good evening or good morning, as the case may be, and welcome to yet another edition of Coast to Coast AM and beyond. Actually, from way beyond borders. It's good you're all here. I'm happy to be here. And I guess I'll say it for the rest of this week. It's nice to be back on U.S. soil once again. I'm Martel, and yes, this is Coast to Coast AM. Live talk radio throughout the nighttime on the CBC radio network. The largest, fastest growing nighttime, live, all-night radio program in America. That sounded redundant somehow. Anyway, welcome. Lots of news to talk about. Bob Dole goes to Hollywood. You know, Bob Dole blasts Hollywood. CBS said sex, drugs, rock, and gold. Bob Dole really came after him. He attacked Hollywood, their producers, the grips, the movies, the values, the record industry. He came after the entertainment medium generally. He says he sees it as graphic and gratuitous violence. He said the entertainment industry is debasing the culture with indecent movies and deviant music. He said, quote, "A line has been crossed, not just of taste, but of human dignity and decency when Hollywood's dream factories begin turning out nightmares of depravity," end quote. He named names. He talked about the movie Natural Born Killers, which he cited for its violent content. True Romance, which he cited for its sexually explicit scenes. I haven't seen that one yet. Now I want to. He also came at Time Warner for, Two Live Crew, which has a lot of very rough music without question. To Time Warner, he said the following, quote, "I would ask the executives of Time Warner a question. Must you debase our nation and threaten our children for the sake of corporate profits?" End quote, question. So that's pretty rough stuff. And I guess point one is it fair criticism? Now, Bob Dole has never had word one to say about Hollywood before. This is new for Bob Dole, but, whenever you see Bob Dole, as I've said many times in the past, if you look very carefully, they don't do close-ups these days, but when they do a close-up of Bob Dole, you can actually see little tiny white houses with the pillars and everything sort of shimmering in each one of his eyes. So it's a natural question to ask whether, since he's not come out with this kind of a blast against Hollywood before, whether this is a political tip-o-de hat to the religious right. In other words, is it just political? And where does it lead? I mean, do you want, what do people want? Censorship or what? Now, interestingly, I've seen Natural Born Killers. And I think I said this over the last couple of nights because there were indications he was going to name this movie, and he has. And I think it's a very poor example. There's a lot of violence in Natural Born Killers. Ooh, it's a very violent movie. But it's violent with... in other words, it had, I thought, great production value. It was violent in the genre of Clockwork Orange. That kind of a presentation. There was talent involved in the way that the story was woven. And I don't think it was a good example. I mean, I've seen a lot of movies with gratuitous violence that I would have listed before Natural Born Killers. Now, Natural Born Killers sounds good because it's got a title that sounds like it's just nothing but violence. Norman Lear said the following: Hollywood, in its presentation of violence, and this is really, I guess I should preface this statement, Dan rather read it, but it's a pretty good blast back at Dole, and so while I ask you whether Dole's statement is fair and right, I want to ask you to respond to the one that Norman Lear now makes too. Norman Lear said, quote, "Hollywood, in its presentation of violence and sex, has no more to answer for it than the Congress of the United States. The name of the game in the entertainment business is short-term profits. This is exactly what Congress is all about. How you can get elected in the short term and every other value be damned," end quote. Now, do you agree more with the Bob Dole statement or the Norman Lear statement, or both? Do both have value? Or do both of them lack value and scream politics? You decide. And here, from the governor of California, Governor Wilson, I've got a very unusual, I don't usually do sound bites. But as you know, Governor Wilson yesterday ended in California affirmative action. And here's what he said. All I've got to say is, boy, a few more sound bites like that, and I might have to vote for the guy myself. It was impressive. I shake up the board ops out there. With the stroke of a pen and with the stroke of the angry white male voter, Pete Wilson, California's governor, outlawed all California state affirmative action programs, actually only affecting at most really a few hundred state jobs. He also endorsed the California Civil Rights Initiative, expected to be on the 96th ballot. Big question is whether this kind of action on the governor's part will get him on the 96th ballot. I think not. I would not describe Pete Wilson as my guy. He's for too many things that I am not for. Gun control is right at the top of the list. He's for abortion. He breaks promises. He's just done a lot of things that... anyway, on to Bosnia. The situation is worsening. Just one day after our president seemed, underline the word seemed, to change his mind and prepare the way for U.S. ground troops to enter Bosnia, the Serbs have now responded by promising a bloodbath if U.S. troops show up in any form, and that means even rescue operations. The leader of the Bosnian Serbs now describes the 370 UN hostages, some chained to targets, as prisoners of war, POWs. It says if we try to rescue them, there's going to be a bloodbath. Now, our military is beginning this weekend live ammunition practice in Germany for exactly the kind of operation the Serbs promise will turn into a bloodbath. Some countries are now trying to free their hostages independently of the UN. In other words, they're bargaining. Probably France. France always does that. They'll even pay to get them out. In fact, 2,000 troops are training for the operation now in Germany. 2,000 troops are offshore. Former Secretary of State James Baker said, quote, I think that we're just about to embark on a very, very slippery slope without having given sufficient full consideration of possible consequences. Boy, do I agree with that. CBS ended up by saying, our troops, if they do go in, will not go in as peacekeepers, but full combat soldiers ready to take on anyone who gets in their way. Now, let me read you what Reuters this last hour said. The leader of the Bosnian Serbs has delivered a stern warning to the international community. He says any military effort by the United States or any other world power to free hundreds of UN hostages being held by the Serbs would result in, quote, slaughter, end quote. The Bosnian Serbs are holding some 370 UN personnel as human shields to ward off further NATO airstrikes. His warnings came as Serb shellfire rocked the eastern Bosnian Muslim enclave of Gorazde. So, there you have it. That's where the situation in Bosnia stands this morning, not in a good place. The president in Montana, this evening actually, seemed to be turning around again and saying, no, we're not going to put U.S. troops on the ground. They have a lot of people killed. I'm losing complete track of what this president is saying and what he's doing, and I think that's because he doesn't have any idea what he's saying and doing from day to day. It changes. So I have no idea what this man is about. All I can say is we've got to get him the hell out of the White House in '96, and I wish it could be earlier. The OJ trial, I've not mentioned that a few days, but I mention it now because it's about to get interesting. Now, I've got a late report. Somebody in fact said, KNBC down in Los Angeles, is reporting tonight that 3 of the remaining 4 alternate OJ jurors are under investigation and may be removed as early as tomorrow. If this trial ends in a mistrial because the jury pool becomes less than 12, would the next trial be ruled by the same judge, or would a different judge be appointed? That's Linda in Metairie, Louisiana. And indeed, we know that at least 2, maybe even 3 jurors may be soon out or at least being investigated. The boring but crucial DNA portion of the trial is now over. The next witness is going to be a really weird character, this Los Angeles County coroner. You may have seen him in the pretrial hearings. He's a weird character. The allegation was that he was so angry after the pretrial hearings, he went back to the coroner's office and pulled a gun out and said something about dispatching some of OJ's attorneys or something. That's the allegation. That guy. So he'll be next on the stand, and during his testimony, the jury will no doubt see what the judge called horrible, graphic pictures of the victims at the scene. I have no problem with that, by the way. Seems to me reasonable they see the truth. Now, the OJ trial, they say, is not your average trial. The average murder trial in Los Angeles takes about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Simpson trial is not normal. It's abnormal. They've spent $3 million thus far. And the worst part of it is, it may all have to happen again. Now, in fact, it's looking more and more that way, as though it's going to be a mistrial. If there is a mistrial, and O.J. Simpson has to be retried, heaven help us all, do you think that Judge Ito should be the judge? Or should they seek a new judge? Should he even be retried? Depends, I guess, on how it comes down. When I was in the Orient, it was in the airport, I believe in Tokyo, yes, in Tokyo. I met a lady who had a little bitty baby that, and she was on her way home. She had been in Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, your preference, for a couple of months, a lot longer than she had anticipated being there. But she had this little baby, this little Vietnamese baby, and she had just adopted it, and she was as proud as could be, and, you know, on her way back to the States with us. And I didn't say anything, of course, but I thought at the time, now why is this woman coming all the way to Ho Chi Minh City to adopt a child when there are so many American children that need adoption? But if you saw 48 Hours or you saw the CBS report yesterday, maybe that's the answer why. You see, American courts now, for whatever reason, have begun to take children away from parents who have adopted them years after the adoption, because the regular genetic parents have come back and gone to court. And so we hear about baby Richard and baby so-and-so and baby so-and-so, and the stories go on and on, because the courts wrench these children away from the parents that have adopted them and give them back to the natural parents. And so you know what? Now I understand why that lady was sitting in the Tokyo airport with that Vietnamese child. And I think it's wrong. I think once an adoption has taken place, it is an adoption. And once a child is with parents for years, those are the parents. And so I don't blame that lady who was on her way back from Ho Chi Minh City with this child. I thought you might have some comments on that. It all kind of fell into place for me when I saw the reports last night on CBS about the courts coming back and taking these children away. I'll tell you something, I'm the kind of guy who'd be sitting there with a shotgun, loaded and ready for bear. I mean, you know, you have a child for years, they come to take that child away. You best not get in my way. That'd be my attitude. T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh no, all of our metal images were wrong. T-Rex, the big meat eater, the guy who stood on two legs, 30, 40 feet into the air, something like that. Wrong. The American Museum of Natural History in New York has, bones there. They showed for years T-Rex standing up on two legs. Wrong. You know how they figured out that's wrong? Because they've got lots of footsteps from T-Rex, but no tail dragging behind. And see, if T-Rex was up on two feet, there's a tail dragging behind, right? But there's no tail tracks. So they said, we've been wrong all these times, so they've redone it. Put all the bones back together a different way. Now, T-Rex stands maybe 7 feet tall. Still a very awesome animal. Still, human beings would be, they said, bite size for T-Rex. But he'd be coming at you at, about the size of a big basketball player or something, about 7 feet. I don't know if basketball players get to be 7 feet, but something like that. Close anyway. Somebody sent me a fax, worthy of a question. Equilibrium analysis, he calls himself in Southern California. All right, the person asking the difficult questions was indeed asking the correct questions. This was a phone call the other day. In answer to the question of, and I'm going to let this one hang in the air, are we players in the quickening, or are we being played? That's a good question. I couldn't answer it. I called in, I had no answer. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, what a great question. Are we, in fact, you might put it this way, are we the architects of the quickening? And I think most of us agree there is a quickening. Are we the architects, or are we the players? Is it something that's just occurring by the grace of God, or a natural course of events? And we're just sort of walking along with it here? Or are we the architects of it? I really, I don't have the answer to that, but some of you might want to try. Now, I've had a million requests to read the Pope's predictions. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you all right now. I will read them. This will be the last time I'm going to read the Pope's predictions for the year 2000. I'm doing it because of the imminent date of June 5th. I will read them after 1 a.m. Pacific time, or a little better than an hour and a half. A little better than an hour and a half from now. I will do that so the latter stations during the network at 1 o'clock will have an opportunity to hear it. Then I won't get called all night saying, well, I missed it. Couldn't you read it again? So I'm serving notice now that I will read them after 1 a.m. in the morning. The Pope's predictions for the year 2000, containing a very close-in date now, June 5th. What is today? It's first. Yeah, it is the first. And we have to get ready for the second. So we're close.
You're listening to Art Bell, Sunday and Time on Premier Radio Networks. Tonight, an encore presentation of Coast to Coast AM from June 1st, 1995.
radio, kind of like the way television used to be back when it was fun. So that's what we do. Keep ringing till we answer. If the phone company disconnects you, curse them and their relatives forever, and then pick up the telephone. And then pick up the telephone and try again. Just remember, when you put a curse on the phone company, try to eliminate Art Dell. I mean, if you mention Dell, try to leave the Art. East of the Rockies, the number is 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. Anywhere out east of the Rockies. All right, here we go. A plunge into the unknown. On the outside line, you're on the air. Good morning. See?
Hello, Art.
Well, you are there. Hello there.
Yes, I'm here. Listen, I'm calling you from Alaska, and our cable is down. We're on the satellite, so there's supposed to be a little delay between my talking and your talking.
Well, that's all right. I can bear with it. As long as we know there is that delay, then there won't be a problem.
Okay, one reason I called tonight, Art, I wanted to see if I could get a number where I could call. I wanted to get the map that Gordon Michael Scallion was talking about.
Okay, well, that would have to come directly from Gordon Michael Scallion, and I would have an awful lot of paperwork that I'd have to go through here to be able to find it for you. So all I can do is promise I'll try and find it and get that on the air for you.
That'd be great. All right, thank you, Art.
All right, thank you very much for the call, sir. Actually, I would think that the satellite delivery would be the one that would provide the least delay. Maybe not. Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. I know that when we talk very, very long distances, there is a delay, and unless you're used to doing it, it can be very confusing because everybody starts talking over everybody else. It can be done. You just have to be aware of the delay and account for it. East of the Rockies, you are on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Art. Libertarian Nationalist of Aurora, Colorado.
Yes, sir.
How'd your vacation go, my friend?
It was wonderful.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're back safe and sound after venturing into Chi-Com land.
I sure did.
Yeah, it must have been pretty interesting.
By the way, I've got now most of the, I've got all of the photographs back. I have to scan a few more, and probably tomorrow I'm going to be uploading them. So the photographs from the trip are about to be available.
Okay. Well, Art, you posed a question that Bob Dole say what he said about Hollywood in order to pander to the religious right.
That's correct.
And I think he did. I think everything the man does is politically inspired.
Me too.
And, I have immense respect for his service during World War II. But this is no longer the same man. I think somebody laid one of those pods from Invasion of the Body Snatchers next to him when he was sleeping one night, and he was replicated.
I really hate to say it, but I think the Republican Party that nominates Bob Dole is making a tragic mistake and a big move toward putting Bill Clinton back in for 4 more absolutely unbearable years. So
you're right on the money, Art. You and I agree on some things, disagree on others. My ideology is pretty much in line with Chuck Carter's. There's one thing we absolutely agree on: Smith Willie's got to go.
Well, at least there's some common ground.
You bet, buddy.
Right. Thank you very much. In your case, I imagine you would think that a black helicopter possibly might take him away instead of the voters. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to agree with the last caller. I think Bob Dole definitely pandering to the right. And specifically, I'm wondering why he didn't mention like Die Hard 3 or say Married with Children or Melrose Place or anything having to do with what's his name?
I would like to marry with children.
Yeah, I know, I'm saying, but could it have something to do with the fact that all those are, in one way or another, connected to our good friend Rupert Murdoch? I mean,
I hadn't thought of that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Public and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, it's all the same thing. I mean, come on.
Well, are you, would you class it, you know what I want to hear? I want to hear from somebody actually in the religious right. Would that be you?
No.
I wonder what they would have to say. I mean, obviously his words were designed to please them.
Yeah.
I just wonder if people on the religious right, and I have plenty of listeners in that category, saw through what he said and see it as a political statement, not necessarily a statement of real belief.
Yeah, I don't think they could be that stupid, basically, you know what I'm saying? Because if he were really genuinely concerned, he'd be blasting all of them, you know, not just the ones that are coming from the so-called liberals like Oliver Stone and all that, you know?
Did you hear Norman Lear's statement?
Yeah, I didn't quite get what he was saying, though, but I...
All right, well, let me give it to you again. Let's see if you absorb this. Hollywood, in its presentation of violence and sex, has no more to answer for than the Congress of the United States. The name of the game in the entertainment business is short-term profit. This is exactly what Congress is all about. How you can get elected in the short term and every other value be damned.
Exactly. Yeah, that can make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I thought so too.
All right, well, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for the call, sir. I really thought that both statements, I mean, in a sense, I've complained about television as well. To me, it's television. I worry a lot more about television. And specifically, I'm referring to programs that are on during the hours that children, you know, somebody left. Kids, they come home at what, 2:30, 3 o'clock, whatever. The television goes on. And whatever's there is there. Now, if we want to do something about this, it seems to me, number one, we delineate between adults and children. I watched Natural Born Killers. Besides having production values, it did not for 1 second cause me to want to go out and kill a bunch of people. Not even for a second. But I am an adult with a mind such as it is, formed already. And I can accept and assimilate this material and properly classify it. I've always been of the view that children are not necessarily in that category. And I know it sounds Hitler-esque to many, but I would have no problem with a regulation that from certain hours to certain hours, there not be gratuitous violence and sex on TV. Movies are a different thing. They've got ratings. Parents ought to be out there controlling their children, whether or not they go to an R and X-rated movie, whatever. That's the job for parents, and there are ratings that allow that job to be done. So I'm not going to blame Hollywood there. Nor do I think that most adults are influenced one way or the other by movies with violence or sex. I think the violence is probably a lot more serious than the sex. I just really, I think Bob Dole's statement was political. That's all, it's political. And I'll bet you that people on the religious right that comment this morning, and we're going to get them. I would just, if I had to lay my money, I'd say that they too, even though they obviously will without agreeing with most of what he said, can see why he did it. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. I'm calling from Leesville, Missouri, listening to KCMO Radio.
Oh, the big KCMO, Kansas City. Yes, sir.
By the way, I think with Bruce Willis in Die Hard 3, Bruce is a conservative, so...
Well, I haven't seen Die Hard 3 yet.
I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Really? The first two Die Hards were straight movies.
I never saw them. But, I think it was about a year ago, I saw Bruce Willis in Entertainment Tonight, Bad Mouth and Clinton.
And by the way, you know, the Die Hard movies also, they were not gratuitous violence. Granted, there was a lot of cool explosions and stuff, but it was not just gratuitous. In other words, there was a serious, dramatic presentation of a story. Right?
I've never seen Night of Movie.
Oh, I see. Well, gratuitous violence generally means violence simply for the sake of it.
Oh, yeah, just blatantly fill the gore.
Yeah.
But as far as what mediums to attack, though, by the way, I hope Bob Dole doesn't stick with this too far, because that's sort of what did in Bush at the Republican Convention in '92. Pandering a little bit too much to the far right, letting Pat Roberts take the podium at the convention. But as far as what mediums to attack, though, it seems like they always go after network TV. You know, and ABC and all them are now...
Well,
they're putting up their violence disclaimers. When it's more cable TV.
Well, yeah, but who cares about disclaimers? They just cause more people to watch it anyway. network TV is different than movies, and the reason it's different is because it's delivered into your home free of charge. Not like a cable channel that's scrambled, that you got to pay for an order.
Well, yeah, but when they pay them full from school, though, it's not the same as paying $5 to see a movie because it's on TV.
Yeah,
I think if anything, the movie should be affecting cable TV rather than going after network television.
All right, sir, thank you. I disagree. Again, cable is something that you've got to specifically order and pay for, and the really rough stuff is on pay-per-view, and you've got to specifically order that. Look, I really do delineate between an adult and a child. A child's mind is not yet formed. When it comes to children, I begin to bend, and I say, look, let's not fill up their little heads with all of this. There's no reason to do that during certain hours. We can just keep it off the television set. If adults want violence or sex as entertainment, God knows there's enough of it out there. God knows. There's enough of it out there. You can go rent it. Whatever. Married with children. Interesting case. A lot of people think of it as extremely anti-family, anti-law, anti-everything that is American, but it is not presented as a serious presentation of any sort of American value. It is presented as a comedy. And I might add, it's incredibly funny. I really love that show. It's one of my favorite shows, Married with Children. But I'm able to assimilate it and laugh at it, and not for 1 second do I begin to emulate it or consider that it is any sort of serious presentation or anything else. It's just a comedy, an irreverent comedy, kind of in the spirit of and an extension of Archie Bunker. I think it's a riot. I mean, that's some of the funniest programs I've ever seen. Comedies are Married with Children. I know a lot of people think it's absolutely disgusting. I don't. I think it's funny. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi. Is this Pahrump?
Pahrump. Yes, Pahrump.
Okay, may I ask you a few questions, sir?
Well, I don't know. How many do you have in mind?
Two.
Two will be okay.
Okay, first of all, I'm calling from the westernmost state of the Union, California.
Yes, sir?
This is the anarchist.
Oh, yes.
Now, you used to have a caller purporting to be a neo-Nazi, and he used the name that started with a P. What is that name? What was that name? Do you remember?
Now that you've asked me, it blew right out of my head.
Okay.
Anyway, I know who you're talking about.
You also have a caller from the river of California.
Yeah.
He calls our station, and he uses the name that starts with an E. What is that name?
Eric.
Okay. Yeah, when you went to the mainland China, what did you do with our bell? Where's our bell?
Well,
running dry. Where's our bell?
He's up now in Beijing being held.
Who are you?
Well, if I told you that, there'd be no mystery at all, would it?
How about Pablo? Aren't you a Pablo?
That's Pablo. That's it, Pablo.
Yeah, that's it. Where's our bell? I want our bell back.
He's in Beijing.
Good he is. Yeah.
East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, Joe in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Hi, Joe. How you doing?
I guess I'm one of those right-wing religious wackos.
Good.
And there's nothing that I think Bob Dole can say that would bring us aboard. I believe that Matthew Cannon's probably our man.
I would think so.
And as far as...
there's something about when Pat Buchanan says it, somehow, he means it. When Bob Dole says it, all you see are the little White Houses get a little bright.
Oh, yes, and George Bush got fired because of about the taxes thing, not because of pandering to the religious right.
Yeah, of course that's right. Mainly for, two things got George Bush fired. One, his broken tax promise, and two, his absolutely ineffective, ridiculous, looking like he meant to lose campaign.
Well, if you don't try, he didn't try. Because I think he figured that it was a lost cause from the beginning because the people that voted in the primary for Pat weren't going to vote for him in the general. Period. They were going to throw.
That's right. I believe that's right. All right, sir. Thank you. Though again, all the surveys show that if you took the parole vote, such as it was, and split it, it would have about evenly gone to Bush and Clinton. That's a fact, and that's a result of a lot of surveys. So it may well have been that Clinton would have won anyway. I'm sorry, but the more I think about it, the more I think that Bob Dole is not the man to beat Bill Clinton. And if he is the nominee, we're in trouble. We're really in trouble. I maybe in the end I'll change. It's the only choice. I'm sure I'll get behind Bob Dole versus Bill Clinton if those are the only choices. But I won't be a happy camper. East of the Rockies, you are on the air. Good morning. No, you're not. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art. This is Robert up in Portland.
Hi, Robert.
I remember. I read at least Isaac Asimov science little magazine type booklet thing.
Not really science fiction.
Yes, it's science fact. There was one that was science fact.
Really?
That he was majorly involved in, and that's why his name was on the cover. Because he's written several non-fiction science books and whatnot.
And
he's a PhD.
Yes.
And in one of them, in the very back, there was a graph that he had found that a guy had plotted out, just because there's a quickening sort of, that in all business talks, major wars that occurred.
In all business what?
In major business talks, like recessions.
Oh, down cycles, yeah.
Down cycles.
Yes.
The,
war is more likely, surely, yes.
Civil War, the Revolutionary War, World War I, and World War II all happened in recessionary period.
Well, in that case, the market was up 86 points the week before yesterday, and another 67 points yesterday, so I guess we're okay for the moment, huh?
Yeah, he predicted the next one for about 2005.
Okay, thank you very much for the call. I don't know how you can refer to what appear to be prognostications as science fact, but okay. Wildcard line, you're on the air.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
This is Bob. You go with the laptop.
Hi, Bob.
I just fell out of Bob Dole.
What about Bob Dole?
I'm pretty far right now. I'm pretty religious, but he hasn't told me any. As far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't vote for him, even if it was on him and Clinton.
Even if he blasts movies like Natural Born Killers and that kind of thing, that doesn't attract me.
Not a bit. That's just, I think it's all politics. It's got nothing to do with anything. That's like President Clinton blasting talk radio. That was just to make points with somebody. It's all the same thing, I think.
Trying to nose up a little to Gordon Liddy.
Yeah, maybe. That's Gordon Liddy sure like that. But I'd like to say something about housing if I could.
Sure.
Okay,
real quick.
Okay, I just think President Clinton needs to learn that he can't delegate responsibility. He can delegate authority, but not responsibility. He's trying to say that we're not going to send ground troops, but if NATO asks, then we'll send ground troops. And go back to something else.
No, you're right. One day it's one thing, one day it's another. This is a man who will say anything on any given day. I've actually given up trying to figure out what it is he really needs. We need a new president.
What Bell Summer Live, the live featuring Rico the Coast to Coast AM from June 1st, 1995.
Actually, from the Tahitian Hawaiian Islands all the way east over flyover country, to South America, north to the pole, and worldwide on the internet. This is Coast to Coast AM. Good morning, everybody. I'm Marcel. Great to be here. It's another week underway. I've got a couple of fast announcements to make. Number one is welcome KFMB San Diego. As we switch affiliates to the big 50,000 watt clear channel KFMB. Welcome to live overnight talk radio. Good to be here. The second, also a big announcement, WMZQ AM in Washington, D.C. The American capital. Glad to have you on board, too. So we lighted off, torched it off in Washington, D.C. this morning. And so it's going to seem a little strange, I'm sure, to the people in Washington, D.C., although you're in for a real treat, that I'm about to go on vacation. I've actually been doing this show for about a dozen years, and it's been about a year and a half or so. So I'm about to take off on a vacation, but you will never notice the difference. As a matter of fact, it will be a wonderful opportunity for the people of Washington, D.C. to see what the show is all about, because we are going to be replaying some of the very best programs and best interviews musically. Now, as you know, Friday night, Saturday morning, we had Richard Hoagland here. Sort of. The bombing in Centennial Park occurred, and we had to begin dealing with that, so we put off the interview, and a lot of you will not know it because no doubt your station broke away to talk endlessly about the bombing. And so you missed it. Richard Hoagland is coming back this Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Then Thursday night, Friday morning, I will be here to do the program for as long as I can. I think until about 3 a.m. Pacific time, and then I will grab my packed bags and take off to the airport and turn the reins of power of this home over to my sister, who will be here during the time I am gone. I do the program from home, and I'm on my way to Europe. Somebody asked me what the schedule is going to be. And actually, I've got scheduled here someplace or another. Let me look at it. To give you a very brief idea, let me see, I arrived at Copenhagen. I'm going to be going to St. Petersburg in Russia. We'll be there a couple of days. During that time, we're going over to Moscow. We're going to be going to Helsinki, Finland, Stockholm, Sweden, Visby, Sweden, Warnemünde, and Berlin in Germany, Denmark, Oslo, Norway, Dover, England. So as you can see, I'm going to be all over the place, and that'll be at the end of the week this week, and then we will begin a series of replays that a lot of you have been waiting for. Frequently, interesting interviews done at the end of the week. Lately, as you may have noticed, we have precluded and not run them on Sunday night, Monday morning. Well, there was a reason for that. We were saving them up. And so our new listeners in Washington are going to get to hear a couple of weeks of the most incredible radio I think there ever has been. Tonight, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. I'm going to catch you up on, by the way, this is Open Line, unscreened talk radio. I guess that is other people in Washington, D.C. I don't know what to tell new people about this program. It is never the same, night to night, never. It's always something different, something strange. We lean toward the unusual, sometimes even bizarre. You'll notice, for example, there is a full moon up here tonight. Well, it's full as of midnight or something. So, expect the unexpected. Also, one other little thing. A very old acquaintance of mine, I guess I better be careful here. A man, some of you who are old enough will remember, the world's first real hacker, Captain Crunch. Many of you know Captain Crunch. I mentioned him on the radio, and we're talking about interesting people. And his name came up, and lo and behold, Captain Crunch is still out, kicking around. He's still out there. So, at some point, any point really, Captain Clark may call in. And if he does, we will interview him. He is a very remarkable man, the real inventor of what was called the telephone blue box, which, that's a long story. He'll tell you. Anyway, the FBI got interested in the captain. And, We'll ask him about that. Anyway, he's a cool guy. I interviewed him about 20 years ago in Central California, and so the captain may call. One other person that will mean nothing to people in DC. I talked to last night. We might even have him on tomorrow night. Madman Markham. You remember Madman Markham? No? Well, this guy, it's an affectionate phrase. Actually, it's Mike Markham. And he sort of built a time machine, and there are updates. Madman has secured himself a large generator, very big generator, as a matter of fact. And he is now independent of the phone company and doing heaven knows what. So we may interview Madman. Now, to the serious news. The FBI has released the transcript of a brief warning phone call made before Saturday's bombing in the Olympic Stadium. Actually, it's not stadium, park. It simply said, quote, "There's a bomb at Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes." FBI apparently has some suspects in mind. They say it is a short list. Sounds like they're trying to keep the budget. They've got videotapes. They've been collecting them. And they apparently are fairly close to arresting this person. Now, obviously, if this person turns out to be domestic, which they probably will, and connected with some underground movement, possibly, then we've got a whole new thing on our hands. Flight 800, they are leaning toward the bomb theory. Looks like the front of the 747 got blown away. The back portion continuing in sort of flight for 2 or 3 minutes. Hopefully the passengers were not alive during that time. Horrible. And then exploding and crashing into the sea, so it scattered out over as much as 40 miles. 8 more bodies collected today. And there was a terror conference, sort of, at the White House. Both parties rushing in. A bipartisan talk about terror. I don't know what good it's going to be. I just don't. If it is a bomb, they're leaning toward the bomb theory, and I'm hoping for the bomb theory. As you know, I'm leaving on TWA Flight 866 from Kennedy, a 747, traversing the Canadian exact territory towards the And so naturally I'm thinking, better a bomb. Because the odds of that happening twice are slim, and the security is going to keep way out. But, you know, I wonder what they were saying to each other at the terror conference. Because what if it was in music? I mean, what do you do about that? You could have increased security and jobs living this and that at the airport, the big $1 million machines until the cows come home, and they're not going to sneak out somebody down line with a Stinger or a Russian missile or whatever. And by the way, while we're on that topic, we got a very interesting message on you. Yeah, check this out. Check this out on the COVID level. A San Francisco examiner has 2 undercover federal agents met with a wealthy businessman in San Francisco to consummate an illicit deal for 2,000 automatic rifles. They were offered a far deadlier prize, missiles. Besides offering to sell the agents heavy machine guns, and silence machine guns to the raid. The arms dealer said he could also secure red parakeet surface-to-air missiles that he promised to take out a 747 airliner. Or the U.S. Federal High Arc, as with the Downing of Flight 800, no one yet has come forward to take credit for the bomb blast in Atlanta. Much as we all hope that foreign terrorists are responsible, there really is a strong possibility our own citizens might have done it. Are they members of some domestic writer left-wing political group? I doubt it. Odds are, the first of these crimes are such perpetrators are just a few of the thousands of nutball cases running around our fruited plains. My greatest fear is that just as with the Black Church fires, the publicity and massive media coverage of these tragedies could spur even more senseless acts. The criminals behind these crimes have succeeded in disrupting the Olympics, but not ending them. On the face, the Olympics seem to be about physical skill and strength, but in reality, they're more about dedication, determination, and character. The same can be said about America. And that is why terrorism will never defeat us. More comforting, more quickening news for you. Federal prosecutors in Seattle have charged 8 people with, get this, conspiracy after the FBI seized pipe bombs and machine guns in weekend raids. Good heavens. Officials say agents arrested 5 of the suspects at a bomb-making class in Bellingham, Washington, north of Seattle. A bomb-making class. So great. A criminal complaint identifies 4 suspects as members of the Washington State Militia. Yep. The other 4 suspects are said to be members of a Seattle, quote, Freeman, end quote, group. Prosecutors charged the suspects intended to harm themselves or eventual confrontation with the U.S. government or the UN. This is just welcome to the age of terror. I guess, at the end of the year when they do the retrospective, this will be called the year that came to America. This is kind of an interesting, by the way, my webpage is down. I'm sure Keith will notify me. It comes back up again. But some server somewhere went, and that was it. So the webpage at the moment is down. I've just come back from visiting a massive top formation in the fields next to Stonehenge in Wiltshire, United Kingdom. So here is somebody who stood there. The symbol is known as a Julius X and is named after the mathematician who invented it and paved the way for many of the theories mathematicians now have about fractals. It is so incredibly intricate and mathematically perfect that the idea of hoax is completely out of question. As I visited there, military helicopters flew overhead several times, coming in close to study the storm. But how can anybody not see something strange is happening? Or at least acknowledge there is something that our present science cannot even come close to explaining. This is probably the most stunning formation yet. It was formed on the 8th of July between 5:30 and 5:45. The field situated next to a major truck road, which would have been extremely busy at the time. A pilot making a routine commercial flight said that no formation was there when he flew at 5:30. He always looks down at Stonehenge, as a matter of habit. The farmer discovered it at 5:45 p.m., stating he was in the adjacent field at 5:30, didn't see or hear a thing. So don't believe the military on this one if they say it is of no defense significance. Why then are they monitoring the field by constant overflights from Boston Airfield, or Boston Down Airfield, I guess it is. Come on then, skeptics and debunkers. Let's see you explain away this one. This could be really entertaining. Yes, a quote from one farmer when asked if he did it. He said, quote, "Only if I painted the Sistine Chapel ceiling as well," end quote. So, if and when my webpage gets back up, you can certainly go take a look at this top circle. It is really exciting. And then this on Dear Art, I have been having fun, as you, with the chupacabra business now. Bear in mind what you're hearing comes from Boulevard, California. Finally, an incident with one of our goats is completely unexplainable. In the wee hours of Friday morning, we found a 75-pound, year-old buck dead in one of the pens. There was no sign at all of any problem except for 6 puncture wounds. Guess where? On its throat. The wounds were fairly evenly spaced. One puncture about 8 and 1/8 across. No blood coming from any of the wounds. But there was the appearance of dried saliva on the goat's hair surrounding the wounds. This was a healthy buck, which would have sired many prize-winning kids had it not died of whatever. Most of the weird things that happen on this farm of 400 dairy goats will be explained. But I cannot explain this one. We'll be right back. The new year is here now, and many of you have made a promise, or you should have, make more money and better your life. One does generally. Money is not everything, but it's pretty nice when you spend it. And when you think about your future, our future, collectively, you think getting better or worse. Some financial pundits have just about made commodities a dirty word to heck with them. The fact of it is, if you learn the ins and outs, how to do it, how to approach it with the right attitude, commodities can pay off big time. Ken Roberts is a nationally known financial educator and multi-millionaire investor. He has taught, literally now, tens of thousands of people how to invest in commodities and manage your own money without depending on brokers. Now, we've had this ad on for some time, and I've had a lot of faxes and email and mail from people who I've been getting some objections. Anyway, I've had a lot of feedback from people who have taken this course, and they're making money. Now, the way it works is you trade on paper. When you're ready, when you know that you know what you're doing, only then do you begin using real money. It works. Now, if you dial the number I'm about to give you, they'll send you an audio cassette and a 44-page report that explains the whole thing. And it is free. So, want to better your life? Here we go. The number is 888-GOLD-KRC. That's 888-GOLD, G-O-L-D, KRC. In numbers, it's 888-465-3572. Right now, as you know, February 14th is approaching. February 14th. What is that? Oh yes, that's Valentine's Day. Well, please, your Valentine, I would like to suggest this. Absolutely fresh flowers. A flower farm in Southern California. All they do is grow miniature carnations. As far as the eye can see, miniature carnations. So they tell them to grow. What that means is your Valentine will get this incredible shipment of flowers. I mean, absolutely stunning. It's $42.95. It includes a card from you with your message and name all handwritten. Very personal, very emotional. Exactly the right thing to do. Call now. The number is 1-800, and they'll be delivered just at Valentine's. Okay, how about that? 1-800-562-6438. That's 1-800-562-6438.
562-6438. Absolutely fresh flowers. Well, guess what? Something that I've been looking for has arrived.
Now, I'm well on the way, paying college tuition for my 5 daughters.
What you do with your money is your business. How you can make more of it is ours. Individual Investor Magazine is focused on one thing, results. Each month, Individual Investor seeks out undiscovered companies on the way up and distills that valuable information into simple, detailed profiles that you can act on.
It helps me earn the money to start my own company.
Individual Investor highlights growth stocks on the verge of exploding and the hottest mutual funds. I was with one of their picks. He doubled in 1 year. For the 4th year in a row, Individual Investor's Magic 25 stock picks beat the experts and the investors. And so did our readers. For $22.95, get 1 year of Individual Investor Magazine, the Magic 25 issue and monthly updates. To get Individual Investor, call 1-800-917-8400.
What do I do with the money I make reading Individual Investor? Invest it. Make more.
When it happens, who will speak for you? Who will decide what happens to your minor children, your property and personal effects, and you? Without a current legal will, the courts will make those decisions. But with a National Will Kit, you'll make those decisions before it happens. The National Will Kit is lawyer approved and legal in all 50 states. It can also help you avoid painful and costly estate litigation. You'll have a complete and sample will for guidance, information on how to choose an executor and witnesses, even where to keep your will and who should know about it. You can probably do the whole thing in about an hour. Order your National Will Kit today, and we'll include a free Living Will Guide that assures you the wishes will be followed in case of an irreversible injury or illness. Have a charge card handy and call 1-800-224-1112 to order your National Will Kit. Only $19.95 plus shipping for the Will Kit and Living Will Guide if you order today. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call 1-800-224-1112. That's 1-800-224-1112. When the Soviets beat the U.S. basketball team in the 72 Olympics, America was outraged. When America's superstar street skater lost in 92, we were shocked. But when our kids were 14th in the international mathematics competition, we didn't even know. America's schools haven't kept pace with the rest of the world. We haven't raised our standards as fast or as far as other countries. As a result, we're losing our ability to support economics. But it's not too late to turn things around. In some places, it's already beginning to happen. To find out how together we can bring about the kinds of improvements we desperately need, call 1-800-96-PROMISE. We'll send you a free booklet outlining how we can keep the promise of a real education for all of America's children and put ourselves back in the lead. Message from the Education Excellence Partnership and the Ad Council. Say, do you have fields, overgrown pastures, even sunny wooded areas you'd like to keep clear? Well, listen to what Son Grabner of Fairfax, Virginia has to say about his amazing walk-behind DR field and brush mower.
We have 18 acres of the Shenandoah. We can't have this one portion brush hog and then get to at the moment, I think it's basically that's the first year if you're gone a couple of weeks. But not too big yet. So it's been a real pleasure having it. Most of it you can't take the regular mower. This mower that we have is just it's very reliable and it's got a good mower.
You can get a big color catalog direct from our factory all about the VR Field and Brush Mower. Just call toll-free 1-800-FIELD-13. That's 1-800-FIELD-13 for your free color catalog all about the amazing VR Field and Brush Mower.
So I volunteer at the school now, and I feel sometimes with a rough crowd, but true, most people are afraid of hearing the classes. It's not right to sit right now, hang around with nothing to do. She brought that up to me, but I like to work. Nobody's ever said that to me before. I want to see you do something, I told her. And that's what she got me to do it. I like it, because anyone can look at things different.
Always do. How can you make a difference? 3DT, Chancellor Broadcasting Company, with a strange and unusual It's Greenland with Ardell. What do we discuss on Greenland? Two fascinating areas. Is there life after death, and are we alone in the universe? Two ultimate questions mankind's been trying to answer for thousands of years. We'll be talking about it this week right here on Greenland.
This is an encore presentation of Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. You're listening to Art's July 29th interview with telephone hacker Captain Crunch. And now, back to the best of Art Bell.
I've got it. I will not give you his real name unless he says we can do it, but this man is a legend in his own time. Literally. Not his own mind, his own time. He's actually become a legend. I interviewed, we'll have to talk about how long ago it was, Captain Crunch. Now many of you who hate the phone company, stick around. You're about to have a good time. This man's story is legendary to those old enough to remember it. For the rest of you, you're in for a treat. Captain Crunch is coming up. The VTech digital cordless telephone is $129.95 for a little while longer. If Newt Gingrich had had one, nobody would have been listening. Most people, I'm really surprised, that is the primary reason they seem to be buying this phone. It wouldn't be mine. Because I don't say things on the phone that I get mine for hearing, but it does offer that absolute privacy. I mean, people with scanners and other portable phones and can't hear this. It is totally digital. For me, the advantage is the clarity. I don't like terrible sounding phones from quick, disconnected, the normal kind of thing we get when we get to the portable phones. For me, that's why I buy it. Then there's distance. Though I don't, every day I take a walk and so I know it works a mile from my home. But of course I've got a good straight shot here in the desert. So, what I would say to you is, if any one of those reasons are a reason for you to have a good portable phone, then buy it. It is the VTech 900 megahertz digital telephone. And right now it's $129.95. $129.95. All about staying in the morning. They'll send you one. The number is 1-800-522-8863. That's 1-800-522-8863. Now our Senate, the U.S. Senate, which has a bill requiring Treasury to replace our money, the greenback, with a new style of multicolored money. Ostensibly, to prevent counterfeiting,
call up the black market money, I don't know, whatever. But somewhere down the line, it could also be used to devalue the domestic currency because there are two versions. One to use inside the country, one. A lot of people, many, don't believe this Senate bill actually exists. Well, Gene is leaving and we will send it to you free of charge. Free, I said, without obligation. Just as it is. Do you want a copy of the bill? Call 1-800-877-9799 today. North American Trading, 1-800-877-9799. And now, to a payphone in the wilderness we go. That's where this payphone in the wilderness, I think. This is Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch, are you there?
Yeah. Do you hear me okay?
I do, as a matter of fact. Captain, can we utter or should we not utter your real name?
I don't care. John Draper.
John Draper. John Draper, the infamous. Well, John, a lot of the audience here is young, and they will not remember you, nor will they know you from coast to coast. John, let me first ask you, how long ago was it that I interviewed you in I think it was Monterey, wasn't it?
Oh, is that where you interviewed me?
Don't you remember that?
I don't remember that, yeah.
Okay, that was...
Remember when I checked your car for dust?
Yes, I do. Let's not talk about that, John. How long ago? That was like...
1972, 73.
Oh, man.
It was a long time ago.
Oh, man. John, we're getting old.
I don't really feel old.
Well, I've got to admit, do you look old? Yeah, I'm not either. John, I'm not either. I'm still, there's more shit in me than I would want to admit. It's just thinking about that many years ago we did the interview. Anyway, we need to begin at the beginning, and I know you've told the story a gazillion times to a gazillion people, but there are a gazillion people here now. And so, why are you called, this is the way to begin, why are you called Captain Crunch?
Well, Captain Crunch, of course, came from the Captain Crunch cereal. And back in those days, there was a toy whistle that came in the Captain Crunch cereal box.
I remember stuff in cereal. I used to empty out a boxes of cereal like all kids did to get down to the good stuff, the pie.
Right.
And they were giving away a whistle?
Yeah, and apparently if you blew one of the holes up in the whistle, well, the whistle, the pitch is 2600 hertz, and that's the signal used by the phone company to disconnect a long distance call.
Disconnected?
Disconnected, yeah.
Disconnected. So you glued up now see, I don't remember that part. You glued up one little hole, and that produced 2600 hertz tone, and that would disconnect a long distance call.
Correct.
Okay, so what good does that do you? You whistle, you're talking to somebody long distance, and you whistle, and it disconnects, and then you're disconnected.
Right, but the beauty of it is, after you're disconnected, it leaves you on a trunk. Same kind of trunk that operators use.
A trunk?
Right.
Is that,
just like an open line.
A big, open party line?
Not a party line, it was an open line that it would behave very similar to what an operator's console would be.
See, now I don't know, I've never been an operator, so do you hear a dial tone, or what are you left with?
No, you just left with a silent nothingness, it's just there. And what you do is, if you wanted to dial 3, you pulse the whistle 3 times. And if you wanted to dial 1, you pulse it once. And if you dial 5, you pulse it 5 times. And you eventually dial a number that way.
Any number?
Any long distance number.
Really?
Area code first.
With area code first?
You wouldn't have to dial the 1, no.
No one first. Just the area code number?
Correct. It would reconnect you to another number.
Cool. Really cool. I don't know why people think it's cool to keep phone company, except that the phone company, now I got to be very careful here, John, because I have a wonderful relationship with AT&T. They have provided me with the first ever international toll-free 800 number. So it should be, please bear in mind, everybody, that what John is explaining and what he did, well, you did go to jail, didn't you?
Yeah, I was really caught.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to say the statute of limitations is far gone on this, but it doesn't matter. You have paid your tax to society, right, John?
Right, and I've told my story through my website.
I meant to say, my website was down, but I understand it is only down through AOL. Any other person can access it. I suppose AOL will get it fixed shortly. In the meantime, if you will give me your website, my webmaster, Keith, will put in a link to yours.
Okay.
So let me hear what your URL. It's not too long, is it?
No.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, it's usually http:// you always get.
Right.
Then at www.
Right.
.well, W-E-L-L.
Right.
.com, C-O-M.
Right.
/user, U-S-E-R.
Right.
Another / C-R-U-N-C-H. And my email address is crunch@well.com.
All right, that's www.well.com/user/crunch.
Correct. I've got my whole story up there.
All right. Are there any photographs up there?
Plenty of them.
So anyway, you found out all of this about this silly little whistle, and then what do you do with that information, John?
Well, soon after I discovered the whistle, or other people told me on the whistle, the phone company was slowly switching their equipment to accept what are called multi-frequency tones. The whistle, when I used it to pulse long-distance call, that's called single frequency tone. It was just a single 2600 hertz. Later on, the phone company decided to use multi-frequency tones. They're combinations of tone pairs.
Now, when you press a button on a modern touch tone phone, right, you hear a dual tone, right?
Correct, but those tones on a touch tone dial are different than the tones used in the internal circuit.
In other words, in the trunking system.
Correct.
I've got you.
They use 2 tones out of 6.
So you began to get very interested, I presume, in, the word is tracking, in trying to figure out how the phone company worked. In the meantime, had you begun to make a whole lot of long-distance calls?
Initially, when I first discovered it, when the idea occurred to me, I just completely went off the wall. I was bouncing off the wall, real happy that I was able to do it. After about the first few calls, where I called a few of my buddies back in the airport, it started getting old, and I started to stop making long-distance calls. There's nobody to call.
In other words,
have that many people that I knew that were long distance.
The fun was going out of it, because once you call anybody you know who's long distance, they get tired of hearing from you, and you get tired of calling.
Correct. So after I processed just about everything I needed to say to all my long distance friends, it really wasn't that much. I focused a lot of my efforts on understanding the internal code used by the operators.
This is called hacking. It's now progressed, of course, to the computer world, but this was before all of that, really, and the home computer was a big deal, so there you were hacking away at their phone. What did you manage to discover?
Well, we discovered a lot of things. We discovered, for instance, that it was possible to stack tandems. Let me explain what that means.
Please.
Yes. When you call into, let's say you're in Fresno, and the area code for Fresno is 209.
Right.
And let's say there's the Desto. The Desto also has area code 209.
Right.
To reach that distant operator in a distant city, you dial 209-121. 121 is the operator code. I don't believe these codes are used anymore, but I'll talk about them. When that happens, there's no way to distinguish whether you want to call Fresno or
Modesto.
So what you do is to add another 2-digit code in there. So if you dial 209-042, 121 that would specify that you were calling, let's say, Fresno, and it would be about 209-044-121. That would then specify the other city.
I see.
So we call these O codes. Another name for them are called CC codes. That's the Internal Telephone Company jargon codes.
Well, what good was this doing you? In other words, you were then in the Modesto area. I suggest you would get to Modesto or any other city. And then what?
Well, if you left out the 121, about 209-044, you would get a wing back and you'd get dropped on the Fresno front. And then from Fresno, you dial 2, you dial 044, 042, or the way around. You get another wing back, you loop back to Fresno and back to Modesto again, one loop, and you do it again, and you again keep looping back and looping back until all the trunks are busy.
Until all the trunks are busy?
Correct.
And then people can't call out of Modesto?
Only between the two cities. Other cities coming into Stockton and Modesto, it probably work.
But you were locking out entire areas. And you were doing this with purpose or just to...
We didn't do it to be malicious.
You were having
fun. We did it to understand the system. And of course we were careful not to do it during times of peak calling time.
What do you mean we, Sonda?
For me and part of the other friends who were hacking the system at the time.
Now I understand there was a way that this is something I can remember from the last interview. You told me that you could sort of have some mass hackers party line. In other words, you guys could find some empty, was it trunk or was that? How did you do that?
Okay, there existed a phone line in Vancouver, Canada called the 2111 conference. To get into it, you could either use a Captain French whistle and dial 604-555-1212. And then whistle it off, and then dial with the whistle, and then 1, 1, 1, and you drop into that conference. That was the favorite conference to the blind phone kids who can whistle that with their mouths.
Oh, there are people who can do this and don't even need a whistle?
Correct.
Yikes.
And these became very popular. In fact, it was on one of those conferences that I was basically given to me, Captain Hunt.
How did you earn that? Sort of the first, or I mean, what earned you captaincy?
Well, I kept sitting on the conference for quite a while and started talking to these kids, and I put it up on a speakerphone while I was doing other studies. And I'd be listening to them talking all about this phone jargon and started picking up on it and understanding what was going on. And then they said, well, we got this other guy from San Jose, John Draper, are you there? And I said, yeah, I'm here. And he said, well, how come you're using your real name?
Good point.
And I said, well, I don't know. He said, why don't you use a fictitious name? It'll probably be safer. And I said, yeah,